So the story starts with this gamer girl, so already I'm wondering why she isn't on the dating market, because I sure would love a girl to play Civilization with. One day, gamer girl meets this yellow thing, who I really hate, and after accidentally signing a deal with the Yellow Devil, she now has to live through an IRL dating game. The yellow thing then explains that this is a ploy by the Japanese government to increase Japan's birth rate or something like that. The point is, the yellow thing has magic powers and will now cause trouble for gamer girl until she falls in love with a guy. So gamer girl starts bumping into really hot guys left, right, and center. There's this blonde guy who she bumps into, a childhood friend who materializes seemingly out of thin air, this rich kid who shows up and ends up being the obligatory tsundere, this fourth guy who's pretty cool, and even the yellow thing who has a human form it can transform into. With such a variety in this reverse harem, clearly, gamer girl should easily fall in love with one of these guys, but who ever said gamer girl was actually looking for someone to date? Gamer girl was forced into the situation and doesn't really want to date anyone. The result being that she tries to avoid romantic situations with every one of these characters. And I can already hear you asking, is this literally the entire plot? And yes, although the short summary may seem uninteresting, I thought the way it was executed in the 12 episodes was well done. Every harem trope you could think of was subverted and done in a way which was actually funny. While most harem animes bombard the audience with obnoxious fan service to try attract people, this isn't the case with Romantic Killer. Not a shred of fan service to be seen. Not to mention that most harem anime put their characters in unbelievable situations to force interactions between the characters. And while this does happen in Romantic Killer, it's funny rather than being unbelievable, because we already know that it's this yellow thing's magic which is creating all of these ridiculous situations. So I have plenty of praise for Romantic Killer's comedy and subversion of common harem anime tropes, and also plenty of praise for how each of the show's characters develop over the series. Blonde guy and childhood friend have nice backstories, the rich kid develops nicely in what little screen time he enjoyed, and even the yellow thing that I really hated at the start has a really good redemption arc at the end. So all in all, very, very dynamic characters for a very well executed comedy. As much as this anime was funny, the comedy can't really carry the mediocrity of the ending, which is to say there is a lack of a conclusion. Most of the conflicts are resolved by episode 12, but gamer girl still hasn't found a guy to fall in love with. There was also this purple-haired girl who got part of an episode dedicated to her for seemingly no reason. I think building her up was a bit unnecessary, and maybe the writers trying to build her up for the second season. So yeah, it is that lack of a firm conclusion which is my biggest criticism of the show, and leaving a lot open to that didn't sit well with me. So yes, if you are looking for a good laugh, then do watch Romantic Killer, but don't go expecting a thrilling plot, which is why I leave this anime a modest 6 out of 10.